Men and women are not equal in relationships, but that is a good thing and it's necessary. So before I really get into this today, and before the woke army comes after me for the subject and the thumbnail title, I want to be very clear with a few things. Firstly, I don't care if this triggers you or anybody else. That is your responsibility and your problem. And I'll give you some advice. No one can offend you unless you allow them to, and therefore I am not responsible for your interpretations of this content. Secondly, this isn't men versus women. This is men knowing their role and women knowing their role to make great relationships. Thirdly, stick around because I will be calling out men and women in this video today. Fourthly, I will explain why it's a good thing men and women are not equal, and that is exactly why we need each other to make beautiful babies and a great life. So, why make a video like this? And to put it quite simply, guys, it needs to be said because I'm seeing too many relationships break up because men don't know their role and women do not know their role in a relationship. And we're very much living in a society now where men are becoming too feminine and women are becoming too masculine. There is a role reversal happening in today's society and it's causing a lot of shit. Everyone on this planet has or should have equal rights politically or under the law. But this does not mean women can do everything a man can and men cannot do everything a woman can. People in successful relationships get a few things correct. They are quick to do maintenance rather than point the finger. They understand that life and relationships are quite mundane most of the time, and most of all, both parties know their place and role in the relationship. Welcome back to the Love Fix. It's Nick, as always, doing my best to get you through your breakups as easily and as healthily as possible. If today's video is not enough, you know what I'm going to say. Come join the Facebook group, type in the Love Fix Breakup Recovery into Facebook and join. If that's not enough and you need my one-to-one personal attention with your breakup and heartbreak, let me know. Drop me an email at thelovefix20@gmail.com and we'll set up a one-to-one coaching session. So, let's get into today's video. Let's forget about society and where the political winds are blowing for just a moment. Biology does not care about politics and it does not care about movements. Human biology is in it for the species, ladies and gentlemen. It programs us to find the best mothers and fathers for future generations. This means that women on a biological level seek certain things in men and men seek certain things in women. I am going to call out men and women for not knowing their roles and getting ideas above their station in a relationship context. I am not anti-feminism and I'm not anti-masculinity. I am anti-extremism and anti-bullshit. Toxic masculinity and toxic femininity is not okay and it is cancerous. Both men and women need each other, but in very different ways. We seem to have got into a place where one blames the other rather than then acknowledging there is pain on both sides and acknowledging our differences. Instead, we are using our differences to score points against each other. Traditional masculinity is dying out. The concept of men providing, protecting and leading is being replaced with beta bitch males who are not being taught how to be men by other men. Instead, they are raised by social media and Disney films where we see positive masculinity being suppressed and shamed. However, we have to go back to World War I to track the decline of traditional masculinity. Dr. Robert Glover describes in his book No More Mr. Nice Guy, when men were sent to fight in Germany, their young sons, brothers, nephews and so on were left to be raised by women. Instead of these young boys being on the farms and learning how to be men, they were naturally exposed to a feminine lens. Women did a superb job holding the country together whilst men were away fighting, but they were ill-equipped to teach young boys how to be men. When the men returned from World War I and society was moving towards more of an industrial-based society, the feminine started to replace the masculine and the situation became even worse. These young fathers were now sent off to work in factories and they were no longer working on the farms with their sons. All of a sudden, men were no longer readily available to teach their young sons how to grow from a boy to a man. Once again, women were left to teach young men something they were ill-equipped to teach: masculinity. 104 years later, most men wouldn't know masculinity even if a sack of testosterone hit them in the face. The real sad thing is when men do utilize their positive masculinity in today's world to provide, protect, and lead, the word misogyny is thrown around, and it's thrown around way too much. Let me be clear. I love and worship women. They are precious, but there are things men can do and women can't. This isn't misogyny, rather simply recognizing what men and women are good at, and we need to respect these differences. As the result of this decline in masculinity, many men do not know how to lead or how to make decisions. They do not know how to provide, and they do not know how to protect. Women are security-seeking creatures, and their biology will seek this out because they want the best father for their children. They want the best protector when they are pregnant, and they seek a man with adequate resources to provide for said children. I am not saying a man should not have some feminine traits. He should, but not to the point where a woman can easily overpower his masculinity. If the man isn't showing positive masculinity, this forces women to significantly increase their masculinity, which becomes toxic, and it's not sustainable because they are not designed for that. They will lose respect for their man, and they will very quickly leave that man for a more masculine man, and rightly so. Men, strap on your big boy pants and get on your purpose. Learn how to lead, provide, and to protect. Know your role and place in the relationship. Don't get into conversations like this. You, where do you want to eat tonight, my darling? Her, I'm not sure. You decide. You, I'm easy. It's down to you. You decide. Her, I don't know what I want to eat. Just pick a place. Guys, she doesn't want to make another decision after a long, hard, stressful day. Leadership, in this case, looks like this. You, my love, I finish work at 5 p.m. Meet me in town at 5:30 p.m. There is a great new restaurant and I want to take you there. Wear some comfortable shoes because we're doing something exciting afterwards. Her, sounds great. It's been a long day and I'm very stressed and I can't wait to spend some time with you. Thank you, my love. That's just a very basic rundown of what leadership can look like from a man, but hopefully you get the picture. Moving on to what I consider to be the rise in toxic femininity. Women are changing, but they're changing things men don't care about. Men don't care about how much money a woman makes or where she works. They care about the woman being positive in her femininity, being a lady in public and having great sex behind closed doors. They care about support and nurturing. They want their house to be a home and they want the best mother for their children. The best thing a woman can do for her man is to take accountability, level up and find her positive femininity. To be fair, women have a hard time in this context. They go through trauma and they are seen as damaged. Men go through trauma and they are seen as battle-hardened and they've overcome a huge challenge in their life. This is not fair, but it is what it is. So when I am discussing this kind of thing with a woman, I tell her the same as I would tell a man. Don't get mad at the rules. Find a way to operate within the rules and turn it to your advantage. When women experience hardship, they tend to become more masculine and understandably so. However, most men aren't going to want to deal with a masculine woman, and therefore women will need to deal with their traumas and find their way back to positive femininity. I'm not saying that's easy, but this is why we have therapy and coaches. If you want a good man, then you need to know what a good man wants and what he brings to the table. If you want a traditional man who provides, protects, leads, and is loyal, then you need to be prepared to be a traditional woman. If you don't want to be a traditional woman, that's also okay, and I wish you well with that. But I suggest that you may need to lower your standards in what you expect from a man. On the flip side, women have the right to choose the best man they can. They want the best providers, protectors, fathers. But to get that, women also need to bring their A game. Every man wants a woman who can cook for them, who will nurture them, support them, give him the best sex he's ever had, elevate him in front of friends and family because it makes him look good. Men, in this case, are quite literally driven by status. Therefore, if his great woman is doing all these things, He will be loyal and die to fucking protect her because she makes him look good. Sadly, modern feminism is a poor derivative of the OG feminism. OG feminism, I'm all for. Every woman gets equal rights and protection under the law and politically. Modern feminism that says women can do everything a man can is not factually true. Most women will not be physically stronger than the average man. Women cannot compete against men in most sports, hence why women fight women in boxing. Equally, men can't do everything a woman can. Men can't carry babies. Men build houses, but they can't make their houses into homes. This is what we need women for. Women are far better at nurturing and so on. We're equal as people, but we're not equal biologically. I'm going to wrap this up now, and if you stuck with me this far, I thank you, and I hope you can see that I've tried to provide a balanced argument. So, in conclusion, ladies, if someone breaks into your house, threatens you on the street, or puts you in a dangerous situation, it's the man's job to deal with it. You won't be the one going downstairs to fight off an intruder. Most women will not win against the average man who is physically much stronger. Women typically cannot compete in the physical realm, so the idea of being equal in this context is just not true. Men bring protection, provision, and leadership to the table. If women do not let men do this, then it's going to be a very toxic and unfulfilling relationship for both. On the flip side, if a man is incompetent and not capable in these areas, then women have every right to leave that man and select a man who can step up for her. If there is a woman who owns her own business, is a CEO for a large company or career driven, that's great and all power to you. But please note that men do not care about these things in women. I hear very often women say, he can't handle me. Ladies, I have news for you. He doesn't want to handle you. It's not that he can't handle you. He handles much more difficult situations every day in his life. It's just when he comes home, he wants peace. He doesn't want the boss lady. He wants his feminine woman, his great feminine woman that will support and nurture him and give him peace. You can be the boss lady at work, but at home, he wants you to be his kitten, his support, his everything in that context. He doesn't want another war, especially at home. On the flip side, he has to fucking earn that by making sure he is on his purpose and he is doing what he needs to do as a man. So yes, he has to earn your respect, ladies. If you don't respect him, then don't support him. Leave and find a man you do respect. Equally for men, if you are doing everything you're meant to be doing as a man and your woman isn't positive in her femininity, find a woman who will be. You'll both be doing each other a big favour and saving yourselves a lot of wasted time by separating, because if the man is not doing his masculine things and the woman is not doing her feminine things, or either party is not prepared to do that, it's a waste of time and you're just going to hurt each other. Move on to someone who will do these things for you. Women will get respect for positive femininity and men will get respect for positive masculinity. Rather than making it men versus women or masculine versus feminine, make it that masculinity and femininity complement each other. Make it so men know their strengths and women help improve their weaknesses. Make it so women know their strengths and men help improve her weaknesses. There will be times in relationships where the man will have the skills and knowledge in one area and the woman has the skills and knowledge in another area. This is the yin to the yang and working as a team, acknowledging the strengths and weaknesses of each other and contributing accordingly. So that's the thing, guys. It's not men versus women. It's not masculinity versus femininity. But you do have to realize that men and women are not equal biologically. That means you are not equal in relationships. You're equal as human beings, but you're not equal to what you bring to the relationship. You are polar opposites. Masculine seeks feminine. Feminine seeks masculine. Men do not want masculine women and women do not want effeminate men. If you understand that and you play your role, you play your part, you bring your 50% to the table and you know how to do that, You will have the best relationship you've ever had because you've got your shit together and you're working as a team. You are understanding that there is pain and struggle on both sides, but you are supporting each other with that. Most importantly, you are owning your shits. And that's all for today. I hope this has been helpful, and I hope this has opened your minds. This wasn't an attack on men or women. It's just pointing out the similarities and the differences and why we need each other. We are polar opposites, but we need each other. As always, you are enough. You will be okay. You will get through this breakup. And hopefully what you've listened to here today, you will take this forward and be secure in your positive masculinity and your positive femininity. And with that said, I'll see you on the other side.